Nelson Menezes.
Thank you, Stephen, for that scintillating welcome. Thank you so much. Today, in District 105, our district, it's a milestone. The history will be written when we have 4 international leaders, presidents coming to talk to us in one platform. This is only possible because our area director, Adarsh, took this initiative along with our Division L director, Stephen George. And thank you, Adarsh, Stephen, for organizing this talk show where our members will be benefited in a huge way. I'm reminded of Sir Isaac Newton's famous statement today. He said, if I could have seen any further, it's because I stood on the shoulder of giants. Today, when I see these 4 leaders in our midst here, I would definitely say, to me, they are giants simply by their sheer quality of leadership and humility, because they have stood and performed so well and led the organization in their respective terms very brilliantly. We are honored and we welcome our current international president, DTM Richard Peck. Warm welcome to you, sir, to District 105. And I'm so happy that this DTM Richard has been visiting our district this year, not only in his tour, but also in milestone meetings to celebrate our joy, our club's 500 meeting, 600 meeting. He has been there with us. The most important thing is he's always before time, and you see him chatting with all the members. Thank you, Sir Richard, for your, and welcome to District 105. DTM Deepak was with us in 2018. I still remember when he spoke to us at Emirates Auditorium and he gave that magic word, serendipity, how he went into Toastmasters. And it's so fresh in my mind. But what really stood today is for me as district director is that sentence in the international convention in August last year, when he said, as leaders at any level, this is the best time to shine. The world is talking of pandemic, challenging time, but think of something, this is the best time to shine as leaders. And I took it very seriously. And during my addresses to the clubs at area division, I always quoted DTM Deepak's magic sentence. Thank you, DTM Deepak, and a warm welcome to District 105. The Golden Lady, welcome DTM Lark Doley. We, DTM Balaji Nagabhushan, Robin Anand, and myself as CDD in 2019 were so thrilled when we heard that you will be in our midst for our second district leader training. And wow, that was a magical day. Thank you so much for your presence today. And 2019, the year of wow, is something which we'll never forget. Thank you for that. DTM Mohammed Murad, well, 3 years he's our parliamentarian, but most important for me, he's someone we all look to for guidance, and he's always there. We write 5, 6 lines to him, but he replies only in 2 words. And most of you will smile now because who have interacted with him will really tell something that we have 2 ears, 1 mouth. So talk less, listen more is his magic mantra. But most importantly, something which I learned from DTM Murad is the art of saying no. As a leader, there are times we have to say no. And this is something, thank you DTM Murad for your presence and support to our district at all times. Toastmaster Adarsh, Toastmaster Stephen, it's going to be a fabulous day for District 105. Thank you for the organization. And I thank and welcome all the members here. Let's have a fun-filled day of learning and really enjoyment. Back to you, Toastmaster Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you. Big round of applause for our leader, DTM Nelson. Thank you so much for those words. And you have done half my job of introducing the panel. So thank you so much for that as well. Now let's move on to the first session called In Conversation. Now, as the name suggests, we are going to have a candid conversation with each of the international presidents. Now, each of the so we have, if you all remember, we have collected questions from the past using that Google form. So we have brought down the questions and we have decided to have only the interesting questions being asked to the panel, the tough ones, and not too easy to answer. So each panelist will be given 3 minutes. Since we are in Toastmasters, we have a timer, so 2, 2.5, and 3. And each of them will be given a total of 4 questions if the time permits. And then we move on to the next session. Okay, so now it is my honor to introduce the panel for today. Now, one thing that is common amongst all the 4 panelists is they all gave a bio. And I kid you not, 3 out of 4 panelists actually wrote the lines, use what you want, rest you can do. So it's just amazing that even though they are the international presidents, they've given the freedom to introduce them in any way that you want. So let's just go on to introducing all of them. The first panelist is someone who is well known in District 105. I've heard his introduction at least 20 times, and I don't know how to introduce him any different. He's lovingly known as Colonel, and he's like the Les Brown of District 105. Every time he comes on stage, there will be at least one statement that you feel like taking your diary and just writing it down. During his earlier days, he used to spend the morning catching bad guys. I mean, he has been in Dubai police for the last 20 years, and 8 years of which was in the criminal investigation department. And in the evening, in the morning when he used to catch good guys, in the evening, he used to develop good guys, I think, because he used to spend his time in Toastmasters. And one thing I know about him is he clearly doesn't believe in a retired life, because even after he has apparently retired, he is now the managing director of multiple companies. He's a lecturer in Event Management Development Institute of Dubai. He is a real estate magnate who manages multiple properties. He's a consultant, he's a trainer. He has definitely found his ikigai for sure. He does it all. Please put your hands together and welcome the 2014-2015 International President, Colonel DTM Mohammed Murad. The second panelist is known for her friendly smile, approachable demeanor, and willingness to talk about anything. But what I love about her is how involved she got with our event. She asked for our time to have a Zoom call. She said how to use the virtual background. She gave valuable suggestions on how to make this event. Guys, she likes to get her hands dirty. And she makes sure that every event that she attends becomes her catchphrase, golden. She's fond of gold and is said to have golden sneakers, cowboy boots, jewelry, and other ensembles. But in my opinion, what is the most golden is definitely her heart and her ability to help others in need. She has served as the CEO of Second Wave Inc. for 12 years, which she co-founded with her husband, which apparently makes hardware products for Apple Macintosh products. And previously, she also worked as the executive director of Texas Instruments. The reason why I'm saying is she has 20 years of leadership experience. So Toastmasters is not just her storehouse of experience. She has been a member for 28 years. And today we are honored to have her in our midst. Please put your hands together and welcome the 2018-2019 International President, DTM Lark Doley. Now, we are not done. We have 2 more international presidents. The third panelist is a leader par excellence. And they say he's an ideal husband. I'm not making it up. I'll tell you why. Ladies, he's smart. He's a chartered accountant by profession and is a partner at a multinational firm in New Delhi, India. So we know chartered accountants are reasonably smart. He is very loyal. He joined his current firm, JP Kapoor and Oberoi, as a trainee in 1980 and continues to work there and is a partner there now after 41 years. Wow. Now that's what I call loyalty. He is kind-hearted, and you know that because his YLP project is just mind-blowing. He worked in collaboration with the American Center in New Delhi and helped build communication and leadership skills for 700 underprivileged children. Wow. Talk about doing a proper DTM project, guys. But ladies, I'm sorry. This man is happily married with two lovely daughters, Rajita and Ramita, who are leaders in their respective fields. A Toastmaster since 2002 and the immediate past international president of Toastmasters International. Please put your hands together and welcome DTM Deepak Menon. The fourth panelist is someone who I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would introduce. He is a rock star. That's what you are. He has been a senior member of the AT&T management team, which I got to know today is the largest telecommunications company in the world. But Toastmasters isn't enough for him. He loves also contributing his time to other nonprofit organizations like Kiwanis International, Lions Club, Catholic War Veterans. And guys, if he does get free time after all this, check this out. He is a professionally licensed race car driver. He gives me a serious ego check because I can't even do parallel parking properly. But I'm glad to have him as one of the panelists. Please put your hands together and give a thunderous round of applause wherever you are to the current international president of Toastmasters, DTM Richard Peck. Thank you, and thank you to all four of you for making it over here. We are so blessed to have all of you on board. So now let's quickly move on to the questions. Now these questions, like I said, have been collated from not this audience, but in general from the districts and other parts. Let's move on to the easier ones. And for that, I'll first hand it over to DTM Richard. DTM Richard, how has your Toastmasters journey changed after becoming the international president?
Well, that's an interesting question. I thought you said it was going to be an easy one. This journey this year has been unbelievable because no one could ever anticipate what we are going to face. As presidents, regardless of what term we're in, we're never sure what the year is going to bring. We're prepared to the best of our ability. But when you throw something like a global pandemic on top of it, it changes the whole perspective. It changes not only your thoughts as a leader, but your view towards helping individuals. What you thought you knew as empathy gets taken to a greater level. And you have to listen more and find new ways to help members, to reach out to understand what's going through their minds, because not everyone is experiencing things the same way. So your leadership changes drastically in times of challenge, because as leaders, we don't run away from challenge. We run towards challenge, but we run towards it smartly. And that's some of the things that we've all had to learn this year, regardless of whether you're the international president or a district leader or a club leader. How to look at things differently, how to view people differently, how to take a strong assessment of the situation and apply the right aspects to it. I was talking to a member yesterday about racing and how in racing we have to react quickly and smartly, because if you react too quick and not smart, it can result in terrible consequences. The same thing is true in leadership. If you react too quickly without thinking through it and don't react smartly with what the outcome is going to be, the results aren't going to be what they're going to be. And that's really what this year has shaped me into. Unfortunately, I've had individuals like Deepak and Lark and Mohammed to help me get to this point, to be able to view things differently.
Thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Richard. I love the fact that it took you less than 2 minutes to bring racing into your answer. That was very well done. But what I would like to state, because it's a nice platform to say it, is we absolutely love the support that we are getting from Toastmasters International, especially because we just started a club a couple of months back, and with the new club initiative, the fees and everything, I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job. And I think we should give a big round of applause to the leadership who's up there and getting to know the people rather than sitting up in the ivory tower. So thank you so much, DTM Richard and your team for that. DTM Deepak, a similar easy question for you. What were your expectations when you wanted to become the international president, and how different was your actual experience or reality? What were your expectations and how different was it when you actually took over as the international president?
But clearly, Richard was not the only one to get an easy question. August 2019 is when I became the international president. And I still recall that day when I was installed and I had to go out and address the audience. And I recall that I spoke about how this year that was coming up, 2019, 2020, would be a year of stability, would be a year when we would see almost no change because we'd already experienced so much of change in the earlier years. And I talked about how we would consolidate and make sure that we take the gains that we made from those changes and make sure the organization did very well this year in 2019, 2020. And it all seemed to be coming true until, of course, March happened and the pandemic hit us from just nowhere. Suddenly, this onslaught of the pandemic, and it just landed on our heads. The board of directors were together in Denver when the news started filtering in from China and from Europe and parts of the United States of the pandemic. And it was at that time that we had to take some quick decisions. President Richard Peck has just spoken of the challenges that leaders have about how we need to take quick decisions. And that was the time really that we had to take quick decisions. In the past, we've not been known to act very quickly. We've been known to steadily take decisions and then it takes time for it to get implemented. But this was not the time to remain seated and not do anything. It was time to take action. And that's what we did. And the first thing that really we were concerned about was the welfare and safety of our members, because that was the primary concern that was there in the minds of the board. And we had to do something to ensure that they remained safe. And that's how we migrated all our clubs to online meetings and all our districts to have online events, because we felt that that was the only way we could ensure that we continue to be successful, but yet kept safe. So there have been significant changes from what I expected to happen, but I'm so glad that our entire world of Toastmasters came together in solidarity, in that feeling of fraternity, and we became really much closer, much more bonded than we've ever been in the past. Back to you, Stephen.
Absolutely, Deepak. And I think the way the whole coronavirus thing was handled was brilliant. Especially we moved the international convention online, because of which I remember telling Adarsh probably like when that happened, that because of which we could actually see the international convention and not be at, because we would not have been able to travel to US earlier. All right, then. So I've been told that all the questions are easy. So DTM Lark, I guess the question is coming to you now. So the next question is, we received 3 questions similar to this. It's about integrity. Okay, so we see a pattern in which some Toastmaster leaders seem to be treading upon that fine line between, are we crossing the limit or are we not crossing the limit in terms of integrity? For example, things that come on the top of my mind is like, for example, area directors not actually visiting the clubs and completing their area director reports, or just to start a new club, people just take 2 or 3 members from different clubs and just starts a club, and you know that that club won't sustain in the future. The question is, as a leader, how do you differentiate between like staying with the realm of integrity and actually crossing that border? Over to you, DTM Lark.
I believe that every single year, at every level of our organization, we need to have a vision, we need to have a plan, and a team to execute that plan. And when you think about our structure, we have that at every level of our organization, starting at the club level, the area, the division, the district, the region, and our international board of directors. So to maintain integrity and the rest of our core values, respect, service, and excellence, we have to have a vision for each program year at every level of our organization. We need to have a plan to achieve that vision, and we need to have a team to execute that plan to achieve that vision. So it takes a vision, a plan, and a team. And if we have all three of those, and if we are monitoring our progress throughout the year, then we can achieve our goals with all of the core values, including integrity. I believe that we need to divide our year up into 4 quarters. And when we think about a sports team, many sports are divided up into 4 quarters. And after each quarter, we need to evaluate our progress. What were our goals for that quarter? What was our plan for that quarter? Are we on track? Did we achieve all the goals that we had in our plan for that quarter? And if we didn't, then what changes are we going to make to that plan to execute that plan in the second quarter to fulfill the goals that we didn't fulfill in the first quarter and to ensure that we fulfill the goals in the second quarter? And then the third quarter and the fourth quarter. So we need to regularly be evaluating our progress toward our goals, toward our plan. And each member of the team has to execute their role. Just as I said, on a sports team, every member of the team must play their part in the success of the team. And we have officers at every level of our organization. And at every level of our organization, we have a team to support them. It is so imperative that we have a vision, that we have a plan, that we have a team, that we are evaluating our progress on a regular basis. And if we are doing that, we're not going to come to the crunch time at the end of the year where we are trying to do things we shouldn't do. And then we are making decisions that are based on rushing, trying to achieve the goals that we should have been achieving throughout the year. So I believe we'll have no problems with integrity or any of the rest of our core values as long as we have a vision, a plan, and a team, and we are regularly evaluating our progress toward our goals.
Thank you, DTM Lark. Well answered. I love the fact that your answer was leadership 101. Have a vision, have a plan, have a team, and regularly monitor progress so that these questions of integrity won't come in the last moment. I mean, that was beautifully summarized and it felt as if you were taking a lecture for us. Thank you so much, DTM Lark, for that beautiful answer. DTM Mohammed Murad, the question is for you. So there is apparently a trend where senior members in Toastmasters, they become club mentors or sponsors just so that they can achieve their DTM and then completely forget about the clubs once they have achieved their goals. So once they leave, or because they were the life force of the club that they used to sponsor or mentor, they apparently die because of lack of succession planning and other factors. So they get their DTM, they leave. What measures do you suggest to prevent this from happening so that we end up having good, sustainable clubs across the world?
Thank you for the question. I think this is the most difficult from all the 4 of us. So the others had it a bit easy. But I think it's important to highlight the fact that the responsibility of keeping past presidents in the loop and involved lies with the clubs and districts rather than expecting those past leaders to automatically be there. I know that most of us as past presidents and most of past district leaders want to be involved. But that's not the case with everyone. And I believe that the mindset in all the past leaders is that we will let the new teams go on with their own business in their own way. Therefore, they will not interfere. And I'm speaking for myself also, is that I will not go and interfere into their business unless I am asked. So I think the mentoring system is a fantastic system for us to involve our past leaders as men. They need to become mentors. and then have a systematic methodology process for keeping them in. Nelson just said that I have been the parliamentarian for the past 3 years, and the district is working me like a donkey. And that is the best thing they could do, because I'm available. And if they're, and he also mentioned something that I know how to say no. And that is fine also, because once we ask leaders, we don't know what they are busy in. We don't know what commitments they have. So even if they say no, you don't have to stop at that time. Maybe they will be free in future roles that they can take on. So keep on keeping them involved, and that's how they will stay within the fraternity.
Thank you so much, DTM. I love how you mentioned that it's apart from it is succession planning, but allowing them to make decisions so that even when you leave, the club is ready to take things on their own rather than just depend on you and you have to be there throughout the next 20, 30 years. Thank you so much, DTM Mohammed, for that. Now I've been asked by the organizers that people love taking pictures with the international presidents. So we'll quickly move on to the group photo. I request all of you to please switch on your videos. And Adarsh, please share the background, virtual background also, if possible. All right. And Rajesh, you will be in charge of taking the picture. So over to you. Request all of you to please switch on your videos. And I cannot give you, Rajesh, more than 1 minute for this, okay?
1 minute is a lot more than a split second, so that's good. We'll do this one twice. So everyone put on your best smiles. We're going to give it a couple of seconds for everyone to get the virtual backgrounds up. And I'll call out, and that's when we have our best smiles on.
All right, Rajesh, just one more request from the audience. Can we have everyone do the L sign, please? And all of you guys, yeah. All of you put, it's not L for loser, it's actually L for division L, okay? Just in case you guys feel like why we're doing L. So can we have everyone put up the L sign? All right, thank you so much. Rajesh, over to you before our hands start paining.
Just 1 second, we are there now. Great.
Are we good to go?
We're good to go. Thank you.
That seemed a bit too fast. I hope that you got the pictures. All right. Now let's quickly move on to the next question, because I got a message in Zoom saying that when is the rapid fire going to start? So we have more questions for the panelists to answer. All right. So DTM Richard, a little bit more of a tougher question for you. It reads like this. Interestingly, the person has asked it as, Toastmasters has become like Game of Thrones. Politics has become a mainstay in Toastmasters, just like any other organization. What are some tips that you suggest to navigate the politics wherein we are asked to do something that we don't want to do and we don't end up compromising or losing our identity in the process? Over to you, DTM Richard.
Well, I think there's multiple sides to that question. One is politics, and the other is integrity in doing what you not want to do, right? So politics, I haven't really seen a lot of politics in the leadership aspect of it, at least not from my standpoint. I see Lark nodding her head that maybe she hasn't seen it either so much. Now, I think politics may play a greater scale in local elections where there's more individuals vying for a limited number of spaces, but not so much when you get to the regional or international level, where the slate is a lot tighter for individuals and it's vetted out a little differently. So if the politics are happening at the local level, I think the individuals need to really think about what it is they're trying to accomplish. Are they trying to hold a title for the sake of holding a title, or are they trying to make a contribution regardless of whether they have a title or not? And I've seen, anytime that I've seen individuals making that shift of risking their integrity, maybe being a little unethical in that standpoint, is when it's the title that's driving them. It's not necessarily their want to lead, but their want to hold a title. Because let's be honest. When you have a title, people view the title before they view the individual. We're all introduced as international presidents or presidents. And that is always stated first. District director, always stated first. Why isn't it said, Mr. Mohammed Murad, past international president? Isn't Mohammed Murad the person the important thing? The title is secondary. And politics, when you start leading, thinking that the title is the most important thing to you as a leader, shows that you're leading for the wrong reason. And that would be the question I would ask. Are individuals risking their integrity? Are they acting in an unethical manner because that title is so important to them? Title holds a way of influencing people, persuading people, regardless of whether the person does or not, right? The international president said, do this, we do this. Wasn't that Richard said it? So think about what it is and who it is that's causing that concern, that political bias, if you will, and for what reason. And that can give you a lot of insight into your future leader.
Thank you so much, DTM Richard Peck. I loved how when he started off, he said that he hasn't seen much politics in Toastmasters. It was a very honest way of putting it, but I absolutely agree about focusing on the title. I think people tend to forget that part of it. And the leaders at the top don't have it easy, let's just admit it, because having been leaders, we know that it's not too easy. And we totally agree with what you had mentioned, DTM Richard. Now let's move on to DTM Deepak. We have a question for you. Interesting. What was your most embarrassing moment as a leader, and what did you learn from it? What was your most embarrassing moment?
I have to really think about that question. I would say perhaps the most embarrassing moment was at the Hall of Fame in August 2007. I was the newly elected Lieutenant Governor Marketing of District 82. At that time, District 82 was this one large, huge district comprising of all of India and Sri Lanka. And we were in the second year of our district. 2006-07 was the first year, and I had been a division governor that year. Incidentally, for those who don't know, Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, which was what I was in 2007-08, is now Club Growth Director. And why it was the most embarrassing moment for me at that Hall of Fame is because there were so many people who were being recognized, walking up the stage and receiving accolades for having done brilliantly in the preceding year, in 2006-2007. And I was sitting back on that chair, right at the back of that auditorium, applauding everybody, but knowing that I could have been there with my team, with District 82, if we had worked hard enough, if we had known what to do. Because in that first year, we came this close to becoming a select distinguished district. And we missed it by 4 advanced communicators. And we only got to realize that we were going to miss that goal in the last month, in June, because we didn't care. We didn't know. We hadn't worked for it. And August 2007 was a day of realization, that day at the Hall of Fame, that this would never ever happen again. I really took a pledge that day that I would never ever have to face that situation again, never feel embarrassed. And I took that lesson back to the district. We worked hard. That year, 2007-08, we were the #1 district in the world, President's Distinguished. 2008-09, we were again #1 in the world, President's Distinguished. 2009-10, we were third year continuously President's Distinguished, #1 in the world. 2010 and 11, we were again #1 in the world, President's Distinguished. And 2011-12, you might ask, what happened then? Well, we became different districts. So we could now no longer be #1. So somebody had to be #2 as well. So we really took that lesson to heart and knew that we'd never feel embarrassed again. I wouldn't feel embarrassed again. And I think that is a lesson that we must all learn. lesson from the failures, and failures really teach us so much that we can use that as a springboard to success. Back to you.
Thank you, DTM Deepak. And just to add to what Deepak had mentioned, when he was the district director, they had started a record 75 clubs in that year. So just to put that in perspective, that's almost 6 clubs in every month. So he did take that pledge on to that. So thank you so much.
That was one club every 5 days.
Thank you. I couldn't do the maths that fast. Thank you, DTM Deepak. All right. So next question is for DTM Lark. We do not know exactly what happens during a board of directors meeting. Can you give us some insights, especially the fun parts? Like, for example, if someone talks a lot, do you just go and mute them? What exactly happens during a board of directors meeting?
Oh my goodness, Richard, that's a great idea for you. Just mute them. No, we don't do that. And by the way, my last time on the board was in August of 2020. So I've been off the board for almost a year now, but I'll be honored to talk to you about my experiences on the board. And what I recommend to all of you is that you review the minutes of the board meetings online at toastmasters.org so that you can be aware of what your board of directors is doing for you and for our entire organization. When I was on the board, we did hold monthly board meetings, and at every one of those board meetings, we learned about the progress of the organization, reviewed the status of the organization. We have a strategic plan, and of course, we're regularly reassessing that plan. And last year, we formed an interim strategic plan, and I assume that the board is reviewing and evaluating that on a regular basis. There are also board committees, and each member of the board is assigned to a board committee. And in the past, we had a board committee that began after the August convention and the August board meeting. And then those committees ended in about the February timeframe, and then new committees began and ended again in the August timeframe. So 2 different sets of committees. Again, that's my experience. I know from reading the board minutes that the 3 committees that they have had, that they began the year with, were the Policy Review Committee, the District Leadership, Leadership Roles, Responsibilities, and Evaluations Committee, I believe, and that was a continuing committee. And then the Region Advisor Selection Committee. So those are some of the regular things that a board does. Now, what do we do for fun? Well, I can tell you that when I was president, I did an icebreaker game. At the very first board meeting, I found out something unique about each member of the board, and then I gave each board member a list of all these unique items, and they had to match board members to those unique items. It was a lot of fun. Now, also, we usually had social activities when we met in person. Now, what did we do with the online meetings? Well, last year, Deepak had a social time after each board meeting, and that was usually led by a board member. We had the opportunities to socialize after our board meetings and to speak and find out what was going on in the personal lives of each of us. I loved that. When we met in person, we would have meals together, and that was an opportunity to socialize. But what I loved about the online socialization was the opportunity to hear what all of the different board members were doing in their personal lives and how things were going for them. So that's my experience on the board of directors.
Thank you so much, DTM Lark. Unfortunately, since we are well pressed on, I like the idea of the social gathering in Zoom, but unfortunately, we are well pressed on time and we won't be having that. The next question, and this will probably be a last question because I received 2 more points, 2 more sentences. Guys, we'll start the rapid fire. Wait, just hang in there. I've got messages from 2 more people. So DTM Mohammed Murad, we have a question for you, which I think is quite pertinent. What are the tips? This is a management question, so it should come easy to you. What are some tips that you would suggest to increase cooperation levels in a team where there are different egoistic members and they purposely agree to disagree on every single point. You cannot progress in taking a decision. What do we do as leaders in such a situation?
Well, this is quite a long answer if I'm going to tackle the question wholly, because I do have a model where I talk about teamwork, and it's different puzzle pieces that could be put together, and therefore the team would be most efficient. But the two puzzle pieces that I would recommend the focus on, if there is someone who is disruptive, is conflict resolution and problem solving. You see, conflict resolution is about people. Problem solving is about processes. So whenever there is an issue with a team, we need to tackle both at the same time. But there is a priority. We need to look at the problem solving before we tackle the other element, because we need to address the issue with personal agendas, personal problems, or probably different opinions of how to do things before we address how is it that we are going to solve the issue itself. So I would do a full day training on problem solving and a full day training on decision making in order to be able to address your question, Stephen.
Good suggestion, Teacher Mohammed.
I just wanted to have some time, because I do have time. I have a suggestion for Richard, following up on what Lark had said of fun time. I know he's going to be virtual, so if he has a racing software that he could put on for everyone and he could show them how he could win the race from the board members, that would be fun, Richard.
I think that should be a separate path and pathways, and not just for the board members. Let's not be, we should all be having access to that.
So past President Murad, this year we did virtual escape rooms, and the board was broken up into teams as virtual escape rooms. And Deepak has had a lot of fun with those. They were great experiences.
That should have been fun.
Why do I get the feeling that international leaders are having more fun than us at club level? Anyways, moving on to the fun session. The time is 3:45, so we have to move to the rapid fire section. So now to all the panelists, I'm not sure if you've ever been part of a rapid fire before. So basically all of you will be asked 10 to 12 questions, okay? You will have to give your answer in 5 to 10 words maximum. So if it's just a one-word answer, just give the one-word answer, that's it. Like, which is your favorite fruit? Just say mango. You don't need to explain why mango, how mango, none of that, okay? Just say mango. And in the end, we will be having voting. So guys, vote for the most honest, most undiplomatic, most feisty answers of all, okay? We do not vote for diplomacy here, okay? To show how it's done, we will start off with DTM Murad. Are you ready?
No, but you can go.
No, but yes. All right. Your time starts now. If given a choice between becoming a world championship of public speaking or the international president, what would you choose?
International president.
Okay. My favorite world championship of public speaking is, who's your favorite?
Brown.
Mark Brown. First thing that you did after becoming international president?
I called my wife.
All right, that's enough. One thing that you would love to change about Toastmasters?
Nothing. I love Toastmasters.
Yeah, I knew that would be the answer. If you could give one last Toastmasters speech, what would it be on? What would it be on?
On Toastmasters.
Okay. Choose one of the following: a club with amazing food but boring people, or a club with no food but amazing people?
Amazing people, anytime.
All right. President or VP education, whose role is more crucial?
President.
All right. If you could go back and change one thing in your Toastmasters journey, what would it be?
Nothing.
All right. A word in Arabic that you would use to describe the following people. DTM Lark.
Dhahabiyya, golden.
Golden. All right. DTM Deepak.
The wise guy.
The wise guy. DTM Richard.
Patient.
All right. Okay. Last question. What is your proudest moment as the international president?
As international president,
Yep.
being able to hold the board together. Unity.
Excellent. A big round of applause, guys. We did not share these questions, as you can see, with the panelists before. So
Not
DTM Lark,
fair,
you did a
not fair.
fantastic job. Now let's see if DTM Lark can do better. DTM Lark, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. World Championship of Public Speaking or International President? Which one would you
World
prefer?
Championship of Public Speaking.
I love the honesty already. My favorite world champion is?
David Brooks.
Excellent. First thing that I did after being elected second vice president?
Sleep.
Wow. Who gave you the name Golden Lady of Toastmasters?
That happened during my Lieutenant Governor marketing year. That was my theme, share the gold.
Okay. The most vibrant Toastmasters are present in which country in this world?
Repeat.
The most vibrant and fun Toastmasters are present in which country? Which country's Toastmasters do you find most vibrant and fun?
That is a trick question. I'll say District 105 today. How's that?
Oh, she didn't fall for it. Okay. What is your favorite Toastmasters meeting break time snack?
Dr. Pepper.
Oh, okay. All right. One myth you want to clear that people have about being an international president. One myth. I'll have to move on, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry.
Your go-to method to unwind after a long board meeting.
Visit with my grandchildren.
Beautiful. The secret to your infectious energy is?
Caffeine.
Caffeine. The secret to your wonderful lustrous skin is?
Not being in the sun.
All right. Last question. One thing that you have learned from the following Toastmasters. DTM Mohammed Murad.
Excellence in everything.
Beautiful. DTM Deepak.
Courage to make the tough decisions.
Beautiful. I agree with that. DTM Richard.
Dare to do the right thing.
Integrity. Brilliant. Can we have a big round of applause for DTM Lark? Sorry to put you out of fix and to move on. All right. We have time for Deepak. The DTM Deepak, I hope you're not sweating too much. Let's begin. All right.
It's hot. It's hot.
I thought, okay. World Championship of Public Speaking or International President?
World champion of public speaking.
All right. Your favorite world champion is?
Dhananjay Heterachi.
Excellent. One thing, the first thing that you did after you became the club president, the first thing that you did?
I was stunned. I didn't want to be the club president. I was forced to become the club president.
Story of my life. What's tougher, clearing a CA examination or getting a DTM?
CA examination for certain.
CA started accountancy, guys. Okay. One person that you consult before you make a tough decision.
Depends. Tough decision where? In Toastmasters, outside Toastmasters. If it's outside Toastmasters, it's got to be my wife. And I have the permission of my wife to say so. If it were Toastmasters, then depends upon where. Usually the board of directors.
Okay, wonderful place. The funniest feedback or suggestion an evaluator has ever given you.
Slow down, speak slower. That was the refrain.
I think you speak perfectly. One Indian dish you would recommend to your fellow panelists to try.
Butter chicken masala.
Oh, you went safe, Deepak, but okay, next, moving to the next one. All right. If a Bollywood movie was made on your life, which actor would play you?
Shah Rukh Khan happens to be a schoolmate of mine.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Name one Toastmasters board meeting that could have just been an email.
None.
All right. A word in Hindi that you would describe the following Toastmasters. DTM Murad.
My Hindi is pathetic, so I'm going to go to English.
That's how you would describe Murad? I hope not.
No, bravo.
Bravo. Okay. DTM Lark.
Iron Lady.
Iron Lady. Perfect. You became golden to iron. Next thing you'll be something else altogether. DTM Richard.
He is fantastic.
Absolutely. All right. The best decision you ever made in Toastmasters. Last question.
Joining it.
Joining it. Brilliant. A big round of applause for DTM Deepak for that wonderful suggestion, and butter chicken hopefully comes our way in the near future. DTM Richard, now to you. You ready?
No, but
All
go
right.
ahead.
World Championship of Public Speaking or International President?
International president.
Okay, it's tie between the two. My favorite world champion is
Jim Key.
Jim Key. The first thing that you did after becoming international president?
Took a breath.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. It's a tough decision, guys. Okay. Being a NASCAR champion or being a Toastmaster, which one would you have to choose? You have a choice only in one of them.
Toastmaster.
Okay. First thing that comes to your mind when I mention the following people. DTM Murad?
Thought-provoking.
All right. DTM Deepak?
Courageous.
And DTM Lark?
Emotionally driven.
Emotionally driven. Interesting. Okay. If you were granted one wish in Toastmasters, what would it be and why? Anything about Toastmasters?
That we would continue to come together like we are now.
Brilliant. Beautiful. The most important XCOM position according to you, and why, in less than 6 words?
The most important XCOM position?
Yes, at a club level. Sorry, at a club level.
At the club level. Vice President Public Relations. Because they get the word out.
Wow, brilliant answer. Absolutely. All right. If you could give one advice to the current CEO, Daniel Rex, what would it be?
Stay the course.
Stay the course. Nice. One thing that you love and one thing that you dislike about being an international president?
I love that I'm able to connect with more people this year than ever before. I dislike the fact that I can't do it in person.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. The maximum number of Toastmaster events that you have attended in a day?
8.
Wow. Okay. One line that you would use to describe Toastmasters of District 105?
Changing the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, DTM Richard. A big round of applause for DTM Richard, as well as all the panelists. Thank you so much for coming. These guys, they are well pressed on time, but they said that they would spend 1 hour with us. It really means a lot to us. You guys have done a fabulous job. Thank you so much to the audience as well. And I've already exceeded my time by 2 minutes. And I would like to hand over the stage to somebody who, for the panelists, he is the youngest area director in District 105. But if you look at him, the way he dresses, the way he talks and everything, it doesn't feel like that. He's calm, he's mature, and he was the mastermind. Almost like when he started off, like 8 months back, he said that he wants to bring presidents together. And thank you so much for listening to his call. Now it feels like I'm doing the vote of thanks. So I'm quickly going to hand over the stage to the person who should be doing the vote of thanks, the mastermind behind this event. Over to you, Area 24 Director, Toastmaster Adarsh Medgal.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Stephen. Can we have a round of applause first for Stephen for conducting this session? And Stephen mentioned that we'll be having a voting for the best rapid fire answers. So please feel free to put it on the chat on who you felt did the best in the rapid fire session. Once again,
I should have a handicap.
Once again, a very good afternoon to everyone. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor to have all our esteemed guests over here. I know everyone's introduced them in their own way. This is my personal take on it. Firstly, I think let's give a round of applause to the people who are working behind the scenes to make this event possible. So I'll go through their names one by one. We have Toastmaster Rajesh Menon, who was our Zoom master for the day. He's, yes, you can see him on screen now, and one of the presidents of the club in District 105 as well. Timer for the day, Toastmaster Midat Siddiqui. She's behind the virtual background. So she told me that whenever you organize this event, no matter which role, but you have to give me some role because I want to be a part of it. So Toastmaster Midat, thank you very much for that. Toastmaster Afzal Latif, who's our Assistant Area Director of Program Quality. He's the one behind the scene, the deputy, who's always there and ever present, ever diligent. So thank you, Toastmaster Afzal. We saw a wonderful marketing and PR being done. There's one person in our district, Toastmaster Alexander Thomas. I would really like to thank him, who's, I believe he shared this event to, I think, 120 plus groups on Facebook all over the world for this event itself. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Alexander. And there's one person who I reached out to as soon as this thought came to my mind to organize the event, apart from Stephen, who really made it possible. So she's been away from the limelight, but all of us need to really give her thanks for making sure that this was possible today. So that's none other than our Club Growth Director, DTM Rania Abul Rab. Thank you very much, DTM Rania. It's been possible because of you. So coming to our esteemed guests today, the 4 esteemed guests, the first person is someone I'm a huge fan of. I mean, people who know me personally in Toastmasters know that I'm very big fans of this individual. And when I took a photo with him or when I had a phone call with him, I should tell Stephen that, I had a photo with this individual. And there's a nickname that I use for him within my friends, which he doesn't know about, which I'll disclose now. And the nickname is Godfather. And the reason is he's really is like a godfather to everyone within the district. He's someone who we all look up to, not only in the district, of course, in Toastmasters International. None other than our Colonel DTM Mohammed Murad, past international president. Thank you very much. It really means a lot to me that you said yes. It was just one phone call and you said yes, I'm on for it. So thank you very much, DTM Murad. The second individual, as Stephen said, is I really love her passion for Toastmasters after achieving so much in Toastmasters. I know the past 3 to 4 weeks, I think I've learned so much from her just by seeing how involved she was with the entire event. I mean, we had never interacted before. We had a Zoom session before the event through our emails. It's really lovely and gives a motivation to us that she's someone who's so involved, and it never really felt that we are speaking to past international president. It's always like a mentor, a guide, and a friend. I think that's what I take home. I've got to find someone I can really count on as a friend now. Our past international president, DTM Lark Doley, thank you very much. You're known as the Golden Lady of Toastmasters, and this is a golden event because of your presence. Thank you very much for being here with us today. Last year, as everyone mentioned, was a tough time around the world, and I was listening to I was watching the online convention last year, and at the end where this individual gave his closing address, I was just thinking, wow, I mean, we had such a fantastic online convention, the first time ever, and it had to be decided within a few months. There's quick decisions, hard decisions, and it definitely was not easy. If ever given a chance, I would love to actually ask him how he managed to do that, how him and his team pulled it off. So one of the names definitely which was there in my mind was if we could have our immediate past international president, DTM Deepak Menon, to visit us. And thank you very much, DTM Deepak, for joining us. It really means a lot to us that you're here. And the last person was someone who took over in that legacy period. And one thing I really remember, it's stuck in my mind, is when he gave his acceptance speech after being elected as the international president. I think that image will never go from my mind. He was in his garage, next to his race car, all suited up, and that was how he gave his acceptance speech, which to me really shows how how confident he was taking on that role, how bold he was, and of course he mentioned it through his words as well during the speech. So I knew that this year we're going to be safe with under his leadership. I know online meetings has to an extent made a little hard, because now he's expected to actually visit so many different events. But thank you very much, our current international president, DTM Richard Peck, for being with us today. I don't think there are any words to actually tell all of you, all the 4 panelists, at how grateful we are that you're here. It really means a lot to us, and I'm sure that all of us had a fantastic time with all of you present over here. And if time permits, we can have one last group photo. I'm not sure if Rajesh took that one properly. So if that's okay, we can have another group photo where we finish that with the sign, and then we will wrap up for the day. And maybe sometime we can have those off meeting sessions with which Lark mentioned happens after the board meeting. But thank you very much, everyone. And Rajesh, I'll let you take another photo and then we'll call it a day. You're on mute, Rajesh. Just let us know when we have to pause.
Yeah, we're good. Very quickly. I think Midnath is still on incognito mode. Okay, there she is. And should be all right now.
Okay, guys, L for division L.
Again, L for division L. Perfecto.
Thank you. And I'll officially close the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Adarsh. All right, then, those who want to stay and ask more questions, you can feel free to do so. It's absolutely fine.
Stay safe and stay well, everybody. I have another event to go to.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you,
Thank
DTM.
you very much, DTM Richard.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I can be here for another 10 minutes.
I can stay a minute.
Thank you so much, leader. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Happy to see you all. So thank you so much.
People from across the globe. So.
Steven, can I ask a question to DTM Deepak Menon?
Sure, of course.
Okay, I want to know, my name is Henrietta. I am from District 101 and St. Mary's Toastmasters Club member. I want to know what made you join Toastmasters in the first place?
That's an interesting question. Those who know me know that I did not want to join Toastmasters. I was a very reluctant Toastmaster, in fact. I was asked to come to a meeting and I was very hesitant because I was told it was a club to help you improve your communication skills. And I thought I could speak very well. I didn't need to improve my communication skills. So I actually went to that first meeting of the Toastmasters Club of New Delhi, only with the intention of attending and then saying, I'm sorry, I'm not something that's meant for me. But when I went there and I saw and I realized that I was very nervous before an audience, there was no choice. I had to join. Well, that was then. And I didn't know that I would one day end up becoming the international president.
Thank you.
All right, then, if there are no more questions, Adarsh, we can. Are there any more questions? Anything else? No.
So can I make a comment about our answers, and Deepak may want to say something too. When we were asked about international president versus world champion in public speaking, so may I comment on that a little further? when I heard that question asked of Mohammed, Deepak, Richard, etc., I love leadership. And so leadership was something that I gravitated to from the beginning as soon as I found out about leadership. So world champion of public speaking is something that I fear. That is something that is outside my comfort zone. And so when asked that question, that's why I responded that way, is because I love the leadership track. So I loved becoming the international president. But if you're asking me a choice, because I know I fear that, I know that's something that would be a stretch for me. Being international president was a huge stretch too, but definitely world championship of public speaking is outside of that comfort zone. So just a comment for everyone.
Look at the bright side, Lark. You won the rapid fire, so I think you have won bragging rights.
DTM Lark, if I may ask, I have a question for you.
Sure.
If someone who aspires to be an international president one day, what tip would you like to give to her?
Don't mute people, Midat. That's important.
I would say relish every single level of leadership. Learn as much as you can at every single level of leadership to prepare you for that. You do definitely have to have patience, diligence, tenacity. And it's very interesting. My journey is very different, I think, from most individuals to the level of president. So it actually took me 28 years to get there. And so I've actually been in the organization since 1990. So the information out on the website needs to say since 1990. So I've been a member of Toastmasters almost 31 years.
Wow.
And I had no idea I would become president of this organization, really any step along the journey, until 2014, when I decided that I wanted to pursue continued leadership. So it's a journey, and every journey is unique, but I would relish and try to succeed at every level of leadership. And don't let anybody push you. Simply relish it, take it in, and make it your journey, is what I would say.
Thank you. Loved it.
And don't mute people, Midat. Anyone else? Toastmaster Shamli, anyone else? Before Deepak leaves, I think he needs to leave.
Yeah, can I ask one question?
Of course.
I think, yeah. I know all of you are very busy people, and time management is one of the critical factor in Toastmasters. What are the 1 or 2 tips you can advise or give us in the time management area?
I'll start with that if I may. Very simple. Learn to say no and delegate. That's it. But both are very hard to acquire.
And I'll just say retire. But don't retire and then do what Mohammed Murad has done, right? Don't get involved in 100 things. No, I would say I have to put it in my smartphone. If it is in my smartphone, it gets done. So that's me. And I retired on March 31st, and I haven't gotten involved in as many activities as Mohammed has yet. So I'll have to see if I do that. But if it's in my smartphone, it gets done.
So I'm going to say really there's just one thing about time management, which is that there is always time to do the things that you want to do. And there is never enough time to do the things that you do not want to do. So we always find excuses for things that don't interest us. And we always find the time to do all those things that we want to. So remember, believe in what you're doing, have passion for what you're doing. With that passion, you will always find time to do it. Consider, introspect, see what is it that you're doing? What are you spending your time on? And if you're spending time on things that you don't really like to do, then perhaps it's time for you to discard those things from your life and only follow those that you're passionate about.
I just want to honor Division D Director DTM Surya. I couldn't do that earlier because he joined a bit late. Thank you so much, DTM Surya. We have a lot of division directors who have come for this meeting. So thank you so much. Any other questions from anyone?
I have another question.
Okay. Yes, Midat. You know my answer to that question anyways. Move on. Go.
Okay, this question is for DTM Murad. I remember meeting you in person back in 2019 at Emirates headquarters. And I found you like you were a very simple and humble person. You cannot tell just by looking at you that you are, you have been an international president, you have taken up so many higher positions in Toastmasters. That's something I really aspire to be, like a humble person whenever I reach that position. So my question is, how do you channel your energy? I mean, when I met you, you were so calm, no rush. Even on screen, that's how you portray yourself on the screen. You're exactly the same in person. How do you channel that energy of yours?
Well, it's not about channeling energy. Most of you might not know, but I am an extreme introvert. And it has been like that since the first time I have taken the tests for personality, more than 20 years. And I've been trying to change myself, but it doesn't work. I am who I am. So whenever you see me calm and composed and so on, it's because I am an introvert. I will not come up to you and talk to you until someone comes and starts a conversation. Of course, that's different on stage and on virtual meetings and so on. So I've learned to hone that trait in me and turn it into something that probably be admired by people and be appreciated. And I think that speaks a lot on how we need to be ourselves, and we do not need to change ourselves in order for people to look at us differently. Just be yourself and things will happen. Of course, leadership does play a very big role in going the extra mile and having people along with you.
Thank you.
Go ahead, DTM Rania.
No, it's not a question, actually, just to say thank you, Adarsh and Stephen, and of course, our amazing panelists for gracing this occasion. I know how busy they are, and they know what happened behind the scene to have this thing happen. It's been an honor indeed to have you all. And despite your tough schedule, some of you joining at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, for Colonel Murad, it's Ramadan, I know he's fasting, so it's tough, but this is basically leadership in its essence. And it's been indeed a pleasure for me to basically be approached by one of the amazing leaders of District 25, Adarsh. She's the youngest area director, but the most dynamic. And it's been really indeed a pleasure for me to help and support in every way possible. Just want to thank him. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rania. Thank you. I think, do we still have, I think we have the past region advisor, DTM Ali also. Ali, if you can just switch on your video. And I just got to know that because he just sent me a text. I think there are a lot of dignitaries, others that we forgot during the session. This one, I'm not sure if he's there, but it's fine. DTM Ali, are you there?
Yes, thank you very much, Stephen and Adarsh. I actually saw the post on Region 11 and I was like, my God, we have all these, I thought it was like some Star Wars movie poster or something. So there was we didn't have any Darth Vader today, but we did have all the other amazing characters. I enjoyed the rapid fire and you got the best out of the international precedents. I would say I have never seen this rapid fire in any other event. I have known them for years, especially Mohammed Murad is like a big brother to us. I've never seen him doing rapid fire anywhere past 2 decades. So thanks for getting out the best from the international presidents. Unfortunately, I cannot switch on the video now. I'm in a rush for Asr prayers, but happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Ali. And I hope that DTM Murad enjoyed the rapid fire and it's not the other way around. We just wanted to have some.
It's something to remember.
All right, all right. Okay, any other questions? Others will end the meeting. We'll wait for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So Toastmaster Adarsh, it's up to you. You can switch off the meeting. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, DTM Lark.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
both of you. Thanks to everyone who organized it. Bye, everyone.
Thank you so much, DTM Lark. Thank you, DTM Deepak.
It's golden. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks, Adarsh and Stephen. It was wonderful to be here.
Thank you, Shamili, for joining.
My pleasure.
Amazing session, guys. Amazing.
Yeah, it was really, really.
Bye-bye.
Bye, DTM.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you so much.